Alrighty, folks, welcome back to personal picks.
Keep doing that.
I'm sorry, I'm tired. Okay, today was a long day. Meh. Also, shush from the peanut gallery, who's not going to be saying anything today.
That's I'm not afraid to throw it.
Totally roasted.
All right.
April 28th, 9:15 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 3.
Ooh, I'm so tired. I'm having difficulty moving it. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine.
Is Apollo okay? He's been muttering to himself all morning. He's been like that since yesterday. Guess the pressure of today's trial is getting to him. Poor Polly. He's really tearing himself up over all this. Get it together, Apollo.
Yes, Athena. Well, when did you get here?
Try to relax a little bit, will you? You're getting yourself way too worked up.
Yeah, but I'm all right. I'm fine.
You know, I did a little digging on this Nayuta Sadmati guy. He's apparently not your run-of-the-mill prosecutor. Who is your run-of-the-mill?
Yeah.
What? Are you basing it off of the Pains?
Yeah, I was about to say Pains are not a good example.
No, they're not. I guess they're the run-of-the-mill ones.
Suppose I. Oh yeah? What did you find out?
Well, they say he wields an incredible power to accurately read a trial's karma and its ultimate fate.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't have all the details, but apparently he can foresee what how the arguments will go and even lead his opposition. So the defense basically ends up going in whatever direction he has in his head.
Man, this isn't gonna be a cakewalk if that's true.
You literally dealt with Blackwell last game, and he basically did the exact same thing.
Yeah, but okay, so for Blackwell, he's a mentalist, and he can lead you along the way because
he just like mentally gymnastics.
He messes with your head when he's doing it. This guy seems to just have premeditated understanding of what's going to happen.
So basically, Blackwell Looney Tunes you into the direction he wants to go.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy's like, I can see the future.
Yeah, pretty much.
Emma did say she talked to him first, though. Here's hoping that went well.
In any case, it sounds like he's going to keep us on our toes.
Oh boy, I can't wait to do this. That's why I know you're ready. Why I know I can leave Trucy in the office to you. I believe in you, Apollo.
Believe in yourself that believes in me, that believes in you. That believes in everybody.
Mr. Wright, I didn't know you watched Dragon Ball. Or Gurren Lagann.
Baka, it was Gandalf all along. Mr. Wright is putting his faith in me. I can't let him down now.
No, faith in me is in the next case.
Oh, speaking of anime things that I didn't expect to see. You know that, I forgot what the name is. The Mafia game.
Yakuza?
Yeah, Yakuza games. You know how it had a live action series, right?
Yeah.
They actually did Baka Mitai.
Awesome.
I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine!
There he goes again. It's almost like he's chanting a prayer.
You will going to find yourself. Uh-oh, somebody texted me. Don't tell me Josh isn't gonna say. Actually, he did warn me he wasn't coming today.
Okay, so we can do a if we want to, we can extend Phoenix Wright if we want to. I'm okay taking a little bit of a breather from not doing General White. Anyway.
I want it. I want it.
Oh, cool. Stuff. All right.
Sorry, the Yeti is teasing me with Mega Man Legends merch. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine!
If you say so, Apollo. The trial will start momentarily. Is the defense ready?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
What does fine stand for? You say all the time.
Fucked up and scared, neurotic, and emotional.
Exactly.
Yes! We're fine!
Please remember that I have migraine.
Oh, coffee, why have you forsaken me?
At least it wasn't hot coffee, it's just... Sorry, folks. Had a little spill.
At least it was on keyboard.
Let's not talk about that. Keyboard's already messed up as it is. I don't have caps lock. I haven't had caps lock since like a month of owning that stupid keyboard. It broke almost immediately.
You know what I think that image on your desktop is missing? General White sleeping next to Mario.
But this is the,
That's not the train.
No.
We're going to Far Outpost.
That is our outpost.
Yeah, so where's General White?
It's not the, not General White's house.
It should be. I think General White should be there and it would be funny.
This is the rust stop.
I still think it would have been funnier if General White was in there as well.
Either way, I'm happy I found this one. It's not bad. It's just a little bit too much red.
That one's pretty wholesome though. I do like that Vivian's is giving a blanket to Bobbery.
Yeah, and the fact that the two youngest ones are already dozing.
Yeah.
Sorry, the eldest one and the two youngest ones are already dozing.
Yeah.
Lucy's fate and the fate of the agency rest on this trial. This is it, Justice. If ever there was time to shine, it's now.
Maybe it's the lighting. You're practically glowing, Apollo. Maybe it's the lighting. April 28th, 9:30 p.m., courtroom number 6.
Doo-doo-doo.
Sorry, we're sick of courtroom number 4.
All rise.
Rise?
All rise.
All rise, motherfucker. All rise, motherfucker. Sunrise, motherfucker. Court is now in session for the trial of Trucy Wright.
The fence is ready, Your Honor.
And the prosecution? Prosecutor said Maddie? 1,000 pardons. It was rude of me to keep you waiting. I was praying for the victim. Oh, praying. Yes, I see. You're a Curanist monk, correct, prosecutor? Yes, that is correct. I am but a lowly monk from the kingdom of Kuramik. I beg in advance for the forgiveness and kind patience of everyone here in this court. I am unfamiliar with the proceedings of this review and may make many blunders. He seems like such a gentle-mannered soul, doesn't he?
I wonder if Emma had a chance to talk with him about Trucy.
Now then, Prosecutor said Maddie, your opening statement, if you would. Certainly. In the name of the Holy Mother, I vow to guide the victim's soul to the land of eternal peace known as the Twilight Realm. Now, let the last rites of the victim begin.
Last time I checked, the Twilight Realm isn't exactly
Accessible.
welcoming.
No, that's the Shadow Realm. That's a different place entirely.
I don't know. Twilight? Eh.
I'm sorry. People would love to have met this woman named Midna.
Nayura Sadmari. He's really been making a name for himself, apparently, but that nickname, Last Rights Prosecutor, I wonder how that will come into play today.
The incident took place in the middle of a spectacular magic show. The accused performed a magic trick in which she thrust a sword into a coffin. A coffin from which the body of the victim then spilled out, dead from a fatal stabbing. The victim's name was Man of Mystery, otherwise known as the Great Mysterious.
I only realized the name fun.
Yeah, man of mystery and mysterious. His blood was found on the sword that was used during the magic trick.
Yeah, I'm already gonna point out an inconsistency. His sword wound is in the middle of his back.
Yeah.
She stabbed towards his side.
He could make the argument that he was jutting his back in a weird direction.
They also proved that he couldn't. He didn't have enough room to.
It's not that they proved it. It's that they offered up the suggestion, but we can't exactly prove it.
Okay.
So his death was just an unfortunate accident? It is only natural for one to assume as such, Your Honor. However, it was no mere accident, but rather a homicide. The prosecution's position is thus, that this was a murder made to look like an accident. I see. And you believe this crime was committed by the defendant? After a thorough consideration of all possible scenarios, I unfortunately had no other choice but to conclude as much.
So that's how it's gonna be, huh?
I guess Emma couldn't convince him after all. Very well. And now let us hear from the defense.
Naturally, we maintain that the defendant is innocent, Your Honor.
If the defense wouldn't mind, could you please explain your reasoning?
My reasoning? Well, I would have to say my main reason is because I believe in the defendant.
I see. So you find it difficult to come up with anything more concrete than that, do you? What a fine demonstration of the fact that you are indeed a lawyer of putrid mind.
Putrid mind?
Come on, I'm stank, not putrid, at least. Prosecutor Sad Matty.
Excuse me, but I don't... He's saying it out loud anyway.
I know, I'm not saying that. If you don't mind my asking, prosecutor, what was that you were just chanting? A sutra of the Holy Mother that guides those of the tainted soul toward enlightenment. It is a Kirinist incantation to awaken the foolish from their fruitless slumber. Fitting for a lawyer who indulges in such fancy as the innocence of the accused. I see, so basically you're asking the defense to get real. Allow me these few words, defense. It is my duty as a monk to punish sinners and to guide victims' souls to the Twilight Realm. Should you show repentance and admit to the accused's guilt now, no harm will come to you. But, should you interfere with my sacred last rites for the victim, then I shall cast you down into the pit of hell along with Trucy Wright.
Now just wait a minute here. Putrid? Pit hell? Is that any way to address someone in a court of law?
Prosecutor said, Matty, that may be the way you conduct trials in Qurine, but I would appreciate it if you would refrain from such charged language here. Your Honor, that was but a Kirinist sermon for those who have strayed from the path. Harsh words are often necessary to admonish contemptible deviants who cannot see reason.
You assume. Which is why that the judge is kind of on our side, because he's seen what we can do.
In other words, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I didn't realize. I guess they really do hate defense attorneys in Qurine, huh? Even still, that was way, way over the top as far as verbal abuse goes. You've dealt with Blackwell. I don't want to hear it.
And the trial's only just begun.
Well, defense, I suppose the way the prosecutor does things varies by country. Why don't we look at this as a cross-cultural exchange and try to be open-minded about it?
What?
Hey, as long as you're not getting whipped, right?
I'm getting whipped by words! That hurts more!
Suck it up, Buttercup. Bailiff, please bring in the first witness.
What happened? What would you do if your grandson was attacked like that?
This isn't my grandson, is it? Let's just say I have my methods with my grandson.
Oh boy.
Oh no! She's eating the snackoos! Oh, she's stressed. Uh-oh. I thought she'd said goodbye to the snackoos.
Detective Sky, the courtroom is no place for gorging yourself.
What's wrong with having a little snack? Girl's gotta eat, right?
She seems a little stressed out. Detective Sky, your testimony, please.
Yeah, about that. I just want to state for the record that we believe Trucy Wright is innocent.
Sorry? Detective Sky, this path you seek to follow is misguided. Giving the wrongdoer false hope will only deepen her despair in the end.
But
Let it go and move on. Acts which go against your duty will earn you divine punishment from the Holy Mother.
Fine. I don't know about the divine part, but I get the punishment bit loud and clear.
I guess Emma got assigned tons of paperwork or something for sticking up for Trucy.
She and Prosecutor Sadmati don't seem to get along very well, do they?
She didn't get along with Gavin either.
Yeah, that's true.
But at least in Gavin's case, you can understand why she wouldn't like him
Because she doesn't go for guys like that.
She's not into like show-offs.
Yeah.
This guy is just like, is just like, why are you like this? I don't agree with him.
Meanwhile, this guy's like, I'm going to religiously persecute you.
Shall we continue? The prosecution contends that the accused had a clear motive. The evidence, if you would, Detective Scott.
All right. Please take a look at this poster. It's a Troop Grammar poster from 13 years ago. Is it just me, or is it a little different from the one in Mrs. Wright's dressing room?
It's almost as if there was this big canceled sticker on it.
This is a revised version of that poster. This one says canceled under Mr. Rios.
Oh, he must have said something on Twitter, didn't he?
That's right. Mr. Rios left the troop after the first version of the poster was printed. Take a look at Mr. Rios' right forearm near his elbow. See the big scar there? He apparently got that when he made a mistake while practicing a magic trick. Ouch, that's quite a scar. Because of the accident, Magnifi Grammari concluded that Mr. Rios was too unskilled. Just before the show was to open, Magnifi announced Mr. Rios wouldn't be appearing. But in defiance of Magnifi's decision, Mr. Rios tried to go on stage anyway. This, in turn, caused Magnifi to oust Mr. Rios from the troupe on the spot.
He kicked Mr. Rios out? That seems rather extreme. Did he really have to go that far? When it came to magic, Troop Grammari was so passionate, or should I say extreme, about it that it caused problems for them from time to time.
What?
I'm hearing something and I can't tell what it was.
Maybe it's me.
My drink.
She was snacking on snackoos.
Snapoos!
Yes, they even caused this court a mountain of trouble with their extreme antics. And now, the troop's successor has committed a murder. It seems the troop's rare talent was inherited by the right person after all. A putrid talent for criminality. I hope I said that right.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
Okay.
I hate this guy.
Everyone's like, bruh. You sound rather extreme yourself, prosecutor. Criminals with impure souls do not deserve sympathy, Your Honor.
I can't wait to take you down a peg. You need it desperately. self-grandizing douche nozzle.
Would you believe me if I told you that this is the least popular prosecutor in the series?
No, really? Ahem. As I was saying, after his expulsion, Mr. Rios apparently went on to hold a grudge against the troop.
He would tell those close to me, I will get my revenge on Troop Grimari someday. Revenge? That certainly sounds antagonistic. And then, his chance for revenge finally came. If you would be so kind, Detective Sky.
I guess I don't have a choice, do I?
The defendant's motive.
The victim planned to get his revenge on Troop Grammari during Tusi's magic show. Mr. Rios was going to first steal the Grammari notebook from the defendant. Then he intended to reveal the secrets behind their magic tricks during the show. That was the victim's plan for revenge. And while he did, in fact, steal the notebook, the defendant murdered him before he had a chance to reveal the secrets.
By the time the accused had discovered the notebook's theft, it was too late. Her only option was to kill Mr. Rios and make it look like an accident.
Objection!
That's nothing but conjecture.
Objection!
The victim's assistant, Bonnie DeFam, gave the police a statement.
I just noticed her nickname, her name, Defame. Okay.
She testified that just before the start of the show, Mr. Rios said, I'm going to reveal all of Troop Grimari's secrets on stage today.
What?
Well, that isn't exactly a great starting point for a rebuttal, is it?
You're telling me?
Allow me to give you one piece of advice, Defense.
Oh? And what's that? Ugh, sorry.
I need to go upstairs to the bathroom.
Whoosh.
Okay. Let it go and move on.
I'm gonna let you go and move on.
And move on to another case.
Yeah.
That was what we call in the business a sick burn, Mr. Justice.
Gonna be honest, between you and another motif that you share, I'd rather do Ancient Cistern. Excuse me?
Helping a sinner will only sully your own soul. One possessed of an unclean soul will burn in the flames of hell, and then be ever burdened with that sin in their next life.
Can we move on to actually doing like prosecution and defense instead of you just throwing inflammatory comments every other line?
I know you are, but what am I?
No, you.
Touché, Cosmart.
But I don't believe in that sort of thing. Besides, I have no intention of giving up.
Oh, Holy Mother, grant me the strength to deal with this putrid lawyer. All actions have consequences, and yours will surely earn you the honor of being a mere stink bug.
When will you learn? When will you learn? Consequences.
In the world.
A stink bug?
No then, Mr. Stink... I mean, Mr. Justice. Your cross-examination, please. So there's one statement in there that you can...
Guys, don't have to tell me.
I'm not gonna tell you any big answers, but I'm gonna tell you, like, there is something you need to
Okay,
press
yes, but you don't have to tell me it has to be press or...
on. Okay, I'll say there's at least one
Yeah.
statement here. That's...
Yeah, you don't... Because if you tell me I have to press or otherwise, that means I already know what I have to do.
It's one of those cases where it's like, it also cuts down on meandering time as well.
Yeah, but I don't meander. You
I know
haven't
you-
even seen me play these games before.
I know, but if we want to move along quickly, I will help you in that case. I'm not going to actually give you the answer.
Hold it!
I'm sorry, but what exactly is the basis for claiming it was murder?
Beats me.
What? The basis is beats me?
You'll have to ask Prosecutor Satmati over there because he hasn't told me his reasoning either.
Detective Sky, your feeding of information to the defense has not gone unnoticed by my eyes.
Oh my gosh.
The bad karma of acts which go against your duty will impinge?
Yeah.
Impinge upon you in your next life.
It's basically, it's going to affect negatively.
But even before that, Ink Joker is playing Fortnite. It may impinge upon your job in the form of a transfer.
Please don't get me kicked out of the forensics unit. Anything but that.
I just got in there.
Poor Emma. She's really been risking everything for us. Well, Prosecutor Satmati, what are your grounds for claiming homicide?
It was the luminous tape in the understage passage. I realized that it had been moved. Moved so that Mr. Rios would climb up into the downstage coffin by mistake.
What?
Mr. Rios, who was waiting in the understage passage, was supposed to have used the upstage ladder shown here on the left. It was to climb up into He was to climb up into the coffin that had been set up in the backstage area. After being turned into a stuffed dragon during Act 1, Mr. Rios was supposed to come back to life and emerge from that coffin. But the luminous tape had been moved to mark the downstage ladder. So the victim climbed up into the coffin on the stage itself by mistake. The very same coffin the accused thrust her sword into.
And you have proof that it was my client who moved the tape?
But of course, Detective Sky.
Oh, that's right. I identified the defendant's fingerprints on the luminous tape.
You what? He actually had proof?
Well, defense, are you finally ready to let it all go and move on?
Absolutely not.
Detective, please add the information about the prints on the tape to your testimony. The defendant's prints were on the tape, and I guess she must have moved it during the show.
Huh. I seriously doubt that.
Now, what do we have that could
Yeah,
contradict that?
that's what I want to know, because she's got gloves on.
Look through everything.
I mean, there's this, but it doesn't have her.
That doesn't prove anything.
Unknown fingerprints?
Well, look at the information. Press A on it. Trucy
Yeah.
wore gloves during the show,
Okay. That's
so
it.
none of her fingerprints were found.
Dad,
Objection!
what are you talking about? She don't wear gloves! She wear gloves, man!
What you talk about, Emma?
What you talking about, Emma? I'm sorry, Detective Sky, but there's a flaw in your testimony.
Oh, really?
The prosecution is claiming that Miss Wright moved the understage tape during the show in order to guide the victim into the coffin downstage. But it doesn't make sense that she would leave prints on the tape
at that time.
It doesn't?
Please consider the fingerprinting results of the main coffin, which shows that none of my client's fingerprints was found on it, or in it. That's true. We didn't find any of her prints on that coffin. I think you've realized that what the flaw in your testimony is. Claiming Miss Wright left fingerprints on the tape during the show is inconsistent with the facts. Because she was wearing gloves during the show. Oh! She must have left prints sometime before the show started. In other words, her prints do not prove that she moved the tape to mislead the victim. The prosecution's investigation was insufficient. Oh my! But on a personal level, I'm very happy about that.
That's something you really shouldn't say out loud. Well, Prosecutor Sadmati, if the defense's argument is true, then you have no evidence that the defendant moved the tape to deceive the victim. I see. Apparently, the defense is more intelligent than I had thought. More than a stick bug.
Are you gonna upgrade me? Come on, you can bump me up to at least a stag beetle now, can't you? even
Yeah, nice.
the same stupid, basically.
The same, like, dumb thought.
Yeah.
It's funny how we share brain cells with our characters.
I know.
Would that really be any better? Well, yeah, people like stag beetles.
Well, yeah, my head kind of looks like a horn.
Yeah, and stag beetles are cool.
Of course, way better. Stag beetles are cool with those huge mandibles of theirs.
Yeah, see, he can shut it up. If the defense wishes to be promoted to a stag beetle, then answer me this question.
All right, shoot.
Even with no evidence that the accused moved the tape to misguide the victim, the victim still climbed the ladder using the tape as a guide and entered the coffin on the stage. The accused then thrust her sword into said coffin with the victim in it. I like how they're using the image with Bonnie's face like like mid-anime expression.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is the fact remains that the victim was stabbed to death, right? Precisely. However, this does drastically change one aspect of this case.
Yeah, whether this was premeditated or an accident.
If the accused did not lead the victim into the coffin on purpose, then it means the victim's death could have been accidental. If it was indeed an accident, the defense can argue that it was involuntary manslaughter. I see. If it was involuntary manslaughter, they could plead extenuating circumstances, and the severity of the crime could be mitigated. Defense. If you believe the accused did not murder the victim, then do you argue that it was an accident?
This is it, the all-important question. The defense argues that Mr. Rios' death was...
Well, here's the thing though. If we claim that it was an accident and that it was involuntary manslaughter, it's still saying that she's guilty of it.
Yeah, murder.
Yeah.
I was already going to choose that.
Yeah. But just like, that's the logic.
Yeah. The defense maintains that the defendant is entirely innocent. We believe that it wasn't an accident, but murder. And what's more, we believe it was committed by a third party. A third party? As in the true culprit is someone else?
I mean, we did the fingerprinting analysis. There's a third set of prints that are unidentified. That's like suspicious in and of itself. That is quite a brazen claim to make, and one wholly without grounds. Your voice is as loud as your suit. I thought that said shit for a second. That would have been funnier if that was the case.
What, you look at me shit?
Well, yes, I said you were putrid, didn't I? And your mind echoes just as loudly in emptiness.
What, do you go through my trash? Please, I go through everyone's trash.
Jeez, that's plebeian shit. I go through. I don't discriminate anyone's terms. Surely you were but allowed red pepper in your previous life.
I've been demoted to a vegetable?
Hey, people like peppers. Wow, I didn't know a person could be reincarnated as a non-sentient plant.
In any case, I do have grounds to make this claim.
Let us hear this reasoning of yours then.
Alright, but before I give it, there is one question that we need to address. If the victim was killed by some third party, then the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin wasn't the cause of death. If that's the case, then how did we wind up with a dead body inside the coffin?
A very good question. Now let's hear your opinion, Mr. Justice. How did the victim's body wind up inside the coffin? He was killed in the coffin. It was magic. He was killed under stage. It was magic.
It was magic!
You're gonna do it anyways?
Yeah, well, the defense would like to contend that it was magic. Seen that kind of trick before. Money appearing in an empty box, for example.
I see. And how does a trick like that work? What's the secret to it?
The appeal of magic is in the mystery. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? Sometimes it's better to just accept it for what it is. Enjoy it, and move on.
The real mystery here is how you pass the bar exam.
Yeah!
Oh!
Alright, let's just move on, shall we?
Come on, it was worth a party.
Yep.
It was worth it. Why don't you try again, defense? And maybe an honest answer this time.
Yeah. He was killed under stage, because that's where it's leading, but I know he wasn't.
Yeah, but that seems to be where things are like. Again, it's leading in that direction. Well, we'll see.
What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? In other words, what if the victim was already dead in the coffin from the get-go?
Oh, I see. In that case, the defendant's sword wouldn't have been the cause of death. How do you respond, Prosecutor Seven? While I concede that him going for the silly answer was quite hilarious.
Squeaky chair.
Was quite humorous. That is the third time. The third time of what?
3 times a lover. What the heck is this?
サトライマオマドモサマシで足し抜けたれガセよそろか
Yeah! Ow! My head!
I thought you would like my good massage.
What do you think you're doing?
Even the merciful Holy Mother loses patience when she is struck 3 times. Since you never learned, you needed to be punished.
Why don't you let me worry about what I need to need and don't need?
It is what you deserve for interfering with my sacred last rites for the victim. You are a brainless lawyer chasing phantoms. You know nothing. Well, no. The last game is the one that I was chasing a phantom. He's a phantom. Let this humble servant of the Holy Mother give you an edifying sermon.
A sermon? Now?
There is a passage in the sacred scriptures of Kiranism. A cornered frog will swallow even a snake.
Huh?
A cornered lawyer is unexpectedly struck back hard against the prosecution. Did I get it right? No, for I am not done with my sermon. And yet, the frog still dies, its belly bitten and torn from within.
Just great.
And in this case, you are that frog defense.
What exactly is your point, anyway?
Yes, I've been upgraded to frog. Let us assume for a moment that the victim was killed under the stage. Who then had the opportunity to do so during the show?
Let's see. The people in the show were...
Bonnie DeFam, the victim Mr. Reus, and Trucy Wright. Bonnie DeFam was on stage throughout the entire show. as easily confirmed by the footage from the show. Which leaves us with only one suspect, Trucy Wright. You see?
Remind me again, what was Bonnie DeFam famous for? What trick?
I'm pretty sure the trick that she was famous for was the Mr. Hat placement and everything. Because she said that she made a mistake with her trick. It was like the mind controlling Mr. Hat.
Oh, okay.
She claimed that she put him on the wrong side, and Trucy improvised it.
Okay.
The accused killed Mr. Rios as he waited on standby in the underground stage passage, and then placed his dead body in the coffin above, thus making the murder look like an accident.
Again, I'd just like to point out, adult body, heavier than a sack of potatoes, small girl.
You'd be surprised, some like hysterical strength in everything.
No!
Yes, indeed.
No, you!
Oh, great and merciful Holy Mother. Thus, another putrid mind has been guided toward enlightenment.
I can't believe I swallowed his trick question whole.
Objection!
Hi, Athena.
Hey, look, she exists.
Sorry, but I have to raise an objection here.
Athena, what are you?
There's something I want to point out, Apollo. And who might you be? You strike me as a mere child in countenance?
Countenance.
Countenance.
It's basically the way she speaks, holds herself. She seems too young to be belong here in the court.
In any other world, yes. In our world, yes. In Ace Attorney's case, Edgeworth started at the same age, at 18. So
apparently Josh is here.
I may be young, but I have an attorney's badge just the same. And you would contribute to this discussion in that capacity? I most certainly would. You just argued that the defendant killed the victim under the stage. But let me remind you that Miss Wright is a girl. Clearly. Surely you didn't raise an objection simply to point out such an obvious fact. Your Honor, please send for this little child's guardian to come take her home.
Hold it!
But I'm not done with my sermon.
You don't need to talk like Prosecutor Satmati, you know.
Did Sadmati literally just pull the, who is this sassy child?
Yeah, pretty much.
Listen, if the victim was killed in the understage passage, then his body would then have to be hauled up to the stage, right? However, Miss Wright is a young girl, and a pretty petite one at that. She couldn't possibly have hefted that large body up and put it in the coffin. That's true. That does seem like it would be a rather difficult task.
He's leading it so that they would admit that he was killed in the coffin, isn't he?
Yeah, seems like it. I don't think even I could do that. What do you think of that, prosecutor? Who's the child now? In my religion, the priestesses of Pyrrhonism are revered as the pillars of our beliefs. So I naturally hold nothing but deep respect for them. I guess you could say I'm a feminist.
Jeez, milady.
I also think highly of the female perspective, says the man who called this fair maiden a little child. Sweet.
What, you giving up that?
Oh,
No.
cool.
No.
That's cool.
It isn't. I know, I saw it.
Oh, and the symbols on the side? Awesome. That's cool.
I'm digging. Can I go home?
Oh, she's not feeling well, eh? Okay.
She doesn't want to strip figures.
Well, yeah, We know she went upstairs.
She could have said something.
You're doing the next one anyhow.
Who's a fair maiden?
I agree that your point is worth discussing. How indeed was the dead body raised up into the coffin by the accused Trucy Wright guys? You're committing to pointing the finger at her no matter what, huh? Then you explain how that even be possible. But of course.
What?
Yes. There was a way for even a small creature like her to raise the victim's body up.
You raised me up!
Huh? Wait, you really can't explain it? I foresaw that our arguments would come to this, so I have prepared a witness.
I'm sorry, but the scissor lift doesn't count. She still has to shove him into that hole.
She's probably gonna, the witness is probably Bonnie, and she's gonna claim that she saw Trucy pushing it, or claim that Trucy pushed it. I mean, she's gonna bring up the flubbed up trick, right? So this is obviously gonna be where it's going. Well, I admire your readiness, prosecutor.
I hope this is everything.
I think so. Yep.
Oh, Josh, if you don't come back, I got something for you. I'm guessing? I don't know.
I'm coming back.
Okay, well.
Cool. It is really not that difficult when one can read the ultimate outcome of any trial.
I've read the script.
You have the script? Yes. I bummed it off of Mr. Rettins. He couldn't have really predicted that things would turn out like this, could he?
It's pretty hard to believe.
Excuse me, but may I step down now?
Yes, I suppose you may. One moment, Detective Sky.
Huh? I'm sorry for, the way I handled all of this.
You did a fine job. Your testimony was invaluable.
It was?
Yes. You served well as a detective and did not allow your personal feelings to interfere. You overcame the conflicted emotions you felt and performed your duty admirably. You will be rewarded for your fine work.
Oh! Thank you.
I hope we can work together again in the future.
Emma seems bewildered by the unexpected praise.
I guess he's a pretty nice person, like they say, as long as you're not up against him. I guess it's just saying that he's not unreasonable. He just wants you to be professional. That's all.
And he hates lawyers.
Yeah, that's kind of unavoidable, but at least he values Emma's work. The whole time he was basically just telling her, don't let your personal feelings get in the way, which is what you're supposed to do in a job like that.
Yeah, but he was doing it in an inflammatory manner.
Yeah, but given who it is, I'm willing to let it pass because, that's just how he was brought up, right? As the prosecutor and everything, and where he comes from. Now then, let us call the next witness.
Hey, Bon.
I recognize those legs anywhere. I take care of my legs. I never skip leg day. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the court. It's very nice to meet all of you. I'm a lagomorphing illusionist from the land of fairy tales, Bonnie DeFem.
Lagomorph?
Lagomorph is another name for rabbit-like. It's the genus for rabbits and
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Can't wait to do some magic tricks for all of you.
So, lichen is all that for, werewolves.
Correct.
All right. Please, witness. There is a time and place for all things, including magic.
Also, can you guys tell I like animals? Yeah, I don't know. Growing up, I really liked animals.
No, I love animals too.
Oh, but would it be okay if I just do a little magic, right? Come on, please. Look, everybody is waiting. Now's my chance to shine.
That is your second time.
My second time doing what?
There will be no further warnings. You should know that from our preparatory meeting, correct?
Yeah.
Is no one exempt from His Holiness's rosary of suffering?
No. You really think Francisca was merciful with her whip? You really think Godot was merciful with his coffee? You really think Blackwell was merciful at all?
With his sword, his bird, his feather.
You really think Gavin was... You know what? Gavin was chill. I'll let him say.
Yeah.
He was fine.
Mein Fräulein!
Oh, come on now. The only thing I killed was the boredom in the courtroom.
And the ladies, because
And-
I'm a lady killer.
Hey. May we have your testimony, witness, once you've recovered from your disappointment.
Well, as a huge fan of Trucy's, I don't really want to testify against her. But I guess I have to, don't I?
As a huge fan of Trucy's, huh?
I hate her! I loathe her! I can't stand that Trucy Wright! Just because she's a little good at magic, she thinks she's all that! So this is exactly what that sniveling brat deserves!
I like that, sound effect.
Yeah.
Does this dress make me look fat?
Sure, you're a real fan, all right. Of destroying Trucy, you mean?
I can read your thoughts, Mr. Lawyer. And you're absolutely right.
No, that's my job.
Well, yeah, and before you ask, yes, I do bend that way. Excuse me? I was not thinking that.
I really can't believe that Trucy killed Mr. Rios. I guess it's possible for a small girl to lift a dead body if she used a stage lift. Is it possible? Could Trucy really have... If Trucy did use a stage lift, I think she must have used stage lift number 2. I was on stage for the entire show, by the way.
Uh-huh. You were on stage the whole time? And you're sure about that?
There is no question. The entire audience could testify to that fact. What's more, she is shown clearly in the TV show footage as well.
I couldn't possibly have killed Mr. Rios, not little old me.
Therefore, the only person who could have killed the victim under stage is the accused. Furthermore, by using a stage lift, even a petite young lady could have raised the body up to the stage without difficulty.
Well, here's the thing. If she isn't the one, and she saw it, then there's 2 of her.
So are you saying that she may not be Bonnie? This woman here may not actually be Bonnie DeFam?
Either she's not Bonnie DeFam, or she's Bonnie DeFam, and there's another person who also dresses exactly like her to make her tricks work.
Oh, like a body double?
Yes.
Possibly.
You've got to be kidding me.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. I have to use the washroom, so you go ahead. All I have to say is every statement.
Okay. You understate passage. Tracy killed Rios. Are you sure about that? You said you are a huge fan of Trucy's, is that right?
Oh yes, I even became a magician because I wanted to be just like her. The first time I saw her, she was performing at the Wonder Bar. She was only in junior high back then, but she got up on stage with tons of confidence. And then she proceeded to win my heart with her astonishing tricks and winning smile.
She certainly sounds like she means all of that. So finally being able to perform with her must have been quite a treat for you, right?
Oh yes! After all, it was my chance to have her see me. Not just as a fan, but as a fellow magician. Bunny! Bunny! But then that horrible accident happened.
It was not an accident. It was a murder. Witness, please explain if you would. How a small young woman such as Trucy Wright could have raised the body.
I guess it's possible for a small girl to lift a dead body up if she used the stage lift.
Hold it!
What makes you think it would be possible? It's not like you tried it out on yourself, right?
Well,
Actually, we did try it out for ourselves. You did? Detective Sky, if you would.
oh. So that's why you made me do that.
Detective Sky, what did he have you do?
The prosecutor asked me to try raising one of the male police officers with the stage lift. Without a single word of explanation as to why he was making me do it.
You're kidding!
It's as if he really can foresee all of our counter-arguments.
Do not underestimate this humble servant of the Holy Mother. More like haughty.
I guess that means Trucy could have lifted the dead body up. Does that mean... Is it possible? Could Trucy really have...
Hold it!
Is what possible? Could Trucy really have what, Mr. Fan? Please finish your sentence.
Well, I...
Don't try to beat around the bush. Come right out and say it. Why not tell this court what you really believe?
What I really believe? Oh, of course I don't believe Trucy could ever commit murder. Such an amazing and wonderful magician would never do such a thing. But taking all the facts into account, what else can I think?
I know of at least 3 other unflattering things you really think about Trucy.
Satura!
How can you attack this girl when she is obviously speaking with reserve? There is such a thing as reading between the lines, Mr. Justice. I should not be hearing this from you.
Read between these lines!
Yeah. Well, that was just uncalled for, Mr. Justice. It's sad how the youth of today lack the ability to do such a basic thing.
Looking at me like that isn't gonna help me stick my foot in my mouth less, Your Honor.
Witness, please describe what the accused might have used to lift the dead body.
All right.
Okay.
Hold it!
Stage lift 2? You mean the stage lift shown here on the left?
That's right. With a stage lift. I think even a small girl could easily lift a dead body up on the stage.
And so that makes her the murderer in your opinion?
Of course not. I believe in Trucy. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of hers.
Oh, brother. How long is she gonna keep this act up?
Defense, what position was stage lift number 2 in after the show?
Let's see. If I recall, it was in the fully raised position.
Ah!
And the reason why it was fully raised is because the accused used it to lift the victim's body. Bless. Bless.
Excuse me.
Wouldn't you agree?
Ow!
Keep your chin up.
Ah, my chin!
Feel free to slowly mull it over while you roast over the flames of hell, you evil red pepper.
So now I'm also evil?
Well, red is usually associated with
You-chan!
You were supposed to press that.
Oh, whoops.
I'm not reading that.
Ah.
A statement you didn't press.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine.
Ah.
Hold it!
You didn't have a single spare moment to slip down the understage passage?
Huh? Don't tell me you suspect me now.
I'm just trying to do my job by fully examining your alibi. Depending on how solid it is, I might have to suspect you, yes.
You gotta be kidding me! Don't spit on my head and tell me it's raining, lawyer boy. I'm right here in the footage. Or are you too much of an idiot to see?
Huh?
Mr. Fan, are you feeling alright? You seem suddenly different. Like you're a completely different person.
Oh, oops. Where did that come from? Right? Oh my, I seem to have snapped there for a second, didn't I? Tee.
She's like April May from the first game.
Pretty much, yeah. Just not the destruction. Although some guys would go for that.
Yeah.
You didn't just snap, you broke character just now.
Yeah, there's at least a few people in the audience who would be like, still would.
Yes, it would.
In any case, I was on stage the whole time performing magic. I mean, you saw me in the footage, right? My dazzling and flawless performance.
Flawless? That's odd, considering what you told me. You said that you'd made a mistake with where you positioned Mr. Hat.
Eh,
Mr. Fan, to what is the defense referring?
well, I made a little mistake on stage. I was in charge of operating Mr. Hat, you see. According to the script, I was supposed to place him to the left of the coffin. But I flubbed it up and made him stand to the right of the coffin instead.
And because of that mistake, Trissy had to move the stage lifts around.
I'm really bad about messing Trucy up like that with my goof. Tee-hee.
Darn it, I don't see any inconsistencies in her testimony.
Now do you know who the real killer is? Come on, Gramps. Don't just sit there. Head down your rolling. Pronto. Do it quick before you keel up over there.
Your pardon?
Oops. Oh, what's gotten into me? I'm so sorry.
I give her another 5 minutes before she tears off that mask.
Why do I feel Last Surprise is going to start playing when she does that? Doodly-doo. She was a Phantom Thief. I knew it.
What are you doing here?
Wait. No, there's no rabbit Phantom Thief mask. Well, defense.
Oh no, it's deceit.
Shit. Are you ready to let it all go now?
Of course not. I'll never give up.
I see. I suppose this too is fate. The sacred scriptures of Purinism describe a variety of hells for the damned. For someone like you who struggles ceaselessly against his fate, Palpul Buljig seems most appropriate.
Palpul Buljig? I don't get it.
Well, it's a...
People boil what? Oh wait, that's Chinese.
What sort of terrible place is Palpul Buljig? A place where the more one struggles, the further one falls into the abyss. At the bottom of the abyss, a ferocious beast awaits. Think of it as something akin to an antlion sandpit trap. Oh, there's one of those in my backyard. Wow, Uranus Hell is closer to home than I thought. Now then, it would appear that the witness's testimony supports the prosecution's claims. That the defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim under stage.
Ah, how are we supposed to get that out of this jam?
If only there wasn't a gameplay mechanic that we haven't introduced yet. Hey, Apollo, if you can't find any contradictions, maybe it's time to use analytical psychology.
Or, see if she was lying, which she clearly was.
We haven't done Athena's game mechanic yet.
Piss off, Athena! I can tell over lies!
But nobody else can. And how can you prove it?
Didn't stop them from accepting it as evidence before.
In the previous time that we did it, it was a baseless accusation that got her to confess. Remember, she was playing the innocent card back then, so
Okay.
yeah, he only pushed a little bit. He only looked at her like, and she started folding.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna work this time.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah.
You mean...
I heard some discord in Bonnie's voice while she was testifying.
Noise.
See? Luigi was picking up on the noise in her heart too.
That's right. Athena can hear things other people can't with her super sensitive hearing. Just like I can see bullshit from a mile away.
I've got eyes. I've got really powerful eyes.
Phoenix Wright? Brains.
Actually, no. Phoenix Wright's gimmick is the supernatural because he uses the Magatama.
Yeah, but his high speed deducing too.
It's his bluffing skills that are his superpower.
Yeah, his superpower is bluffing.
Yeah.
The Magatama might as well just be in Maya's court.
Yeah, basically.
She can hear the emotions people suppress as a kind of noise or discord in their voices. Alright, Athena, let's give it a try.
You got it.
Hold it!
Your Honor? I'm afraid that our witness, Mr. Pham, is suffering under terrible traumatic stress due to this horrible incident. She is? Yes. Well, with that terrible death on stage, and her beloved Trucy getting arrested, she's under awful strain and shock. In fact, I don't know how much more she could take before she is unfit to testify.
What?
Oh, I've heard of that. What was it called? Postal stress disorder, right?
PTSD.
It's where a person becomes uncontrollably angry, I think. I read about it somewhere. That's going postal, Your Honor. This is PTSD. Oh my. So that's why the victim acts so hostile at times, as if she were a different person. Yes, and I think her condition is clouding her memory of the incident. Therefore, I suggest a short therapy session for the witness.
Huh? Therapy? You don't know the first thing about a magician's mental strength. I risked my life jumping through rings of fire and having my body sawn in half. Oopsie. Boy, I have to watch my temper, don't I?
So, before we go on, you want to see the concept art for Apollo Justice's perception ability?
Sure.
See this?
That's the official concept art of his perception ability.
Him looking back over his shoulder.
No,
No, that!
this.
Wow.
You missed the big image, my guy? Yeah, him going at things. Miss Sykes, please do whatever you can to help this unfortunate young lady. And what exactly is this child planning to do, Mr. Justice?
Oh, they're dealing with... They're back where they are, but with him there.
Yeah. With her super sensitive hearing, Miss Sykes can hear a witness's true emotions. Very soon we're going to have somebody with the strength of 10 men who can lift the prosecution's problem.
As you see, I've got biceps to spare.
and then fused together they can make Superman.
No, unfortunately. Although with Ace Attorney, you never know what could happen
Yeah.
next.
It's kind of like the off-the-wall bullshittery that Trauma Center pulls out.
Yeah.
Like if anybody has any idea of what Trauma Center has done, like they heal critical injuries with a pentagram.
Yep.
Yeah. Simply from tone and inflection, she can tell exactly what a person is feeling.
I can even pick out feelings that the witness is trying to suppress or hide. Widget projects the emotions I hear into the mood matrix, where I can analyze them. Sounds like some sort of spurious devilry. Though I find it hard to believe, I must ask, how do emotions constitute evidence? While I won't say that emotions can't be taken as evidence per se, I have seen how instrumental Miss Sykes' work has been in cracking a case. Therefore, I wholly support giving it a try. I see. If you are in favor of it, Your Honor, then I have no objections. Even this mere monk can see that something disturbs the witness.
I'll disturb you!
Oh, thank you for understanding, Prosecutor Sadmati.
Wow.
Apollo, you remember how to conduct a therapy session, right?
You want me to lead the session?
Of course. You're the lead on this case, after all.
Fair enough, but, do I need a refresher?
Do you need to remember how it works?
I think I still remember the last time. Let's get right to it.
Okie dokie. You ready, Widget? Let's do this! Alright, well, considering that this is the first one, I don't think it's going to be super duper difficult.
Yeah.
I guess Trucy is the one who killed Mr. Ryus. Even she could move the body with that lift. I was on stage at the time.
No reaction?
But that terrible mistake.
Okay.
My stupid flub caused Trucy so much trouble. I feel so bad about it. See, I told you the first one was gonna be easy.
Just a little bit.
Got it!
I have to say, Mr. Pham, you certainly are a strange one. Even though you said I feel so bad about it, it seems you are feeling happy about it. Clonk. Yeah. The only thing better about that scene would be adding the steel pipe sound.
So, I think I can guess why.
I think I can guess why you were feeling happy. It must be because
It was Trucy's big debut, you made a mistake.
you messed Trucy up. I think you were happy because you messed the defendant up. I'm right, aren't I?
You gotta be kidding me!
No, you're Apollo.
Why would I be happy
I messed Trucy up. I'm a big fan of hers. Because we saw you. I hate her.
I loathe her! I can't stand that Trucy Wright! Just because she's a little good at magic, she thinks she's all that. So this is exactly what that sniveling brat deserves.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah,
Open
blah.
hours are hard.
We saw how you said you hated Trucy Wright. How you were glad she was in trouble, and even how it was what she deserved.
Ouch!
It looks like I hit the bunny on the head, so to speak.
That was some good work. That was some kind of bad wordplay, you. Why, you? Apollo, the noise level dropped. Now, if we could get it down to 0%.
Well, Mr. Pham, are you ready to confess how you really feel?
What? What do you mean? I'm Bunny, sweet, cute little bunny. I'm a rookie, musician-looking heart and pea, just like my idol Trucy. That's the character I'm supposed to be.
Objection!
Keep that up, Mr. Pham, and you're going to have a mental breakdown. Just let yourself be who you really are. The two sides of you are fighting each other and doing you psychic harm. I can hear them, two distinct voices battling inside you.
Shut your potty hole, you know-nothing, know-it-all! I mean, you mustn't say things like that or I might get flustered.
Mr. Pham, how long do you insist on maintaining this wolf in sheep's clothing act? We can't end this therapy session until you get real with us. Set the wild beast inside you free!
Okay, first coaster
Rip it off and keep going. Wait, what? No, don't rip it off.
Just how
Ouch.
see.
Bonnie smash.
Just how. Oh,
Don't make me laugh. You don't know a dang thing about me. You want to see who I really am? Fine. Take a good look.
she's a psychopath. Oh, my
What in the world?
Sheep's clothing? You've got it all wrong. It's a rabbit suit I've got on. And I'm not a wolf, I'm a blood-sucking vampire. I'm a bat with fangs and wings.
I think I just opened Pandora's box.
I'm done with that goody two-shoes cottontail act. I feel free as a bat.
Everyone's like, what the blue fuck?
You are so. Oh, what's that?
Defense. Your therapy session has taken a turn for the worse from the looks of it.
He's asleep. Did you read that already?
Yes, it.
There is a perfectly good explanation for this. Isn't there, Miss Sykes?
He thinks I created a monster. We blew it.
Thank you, lobster boy.
Who, me?
You think I'm glad Trucy is in trouble? God, I think she's getting her just desserts. Well, guess what? You're right.
Does this mean you admit to wishing the defendant harm?
Well, the bat is out of the bag now. That mistake of mine was a work of art. Thanks to my goof, poor little Trucy had to do all that hard physical labor.
So this girl thinks she's hot shit. That's what this sounds like.
I mean, before Trucy got onto that show, she was the shit. Until she got replaced. Technically. Temporarily. When you say hard physical labor, what are you referring to?
Because of Mr. Hat's new position, Trucy had to move both of those huge stage lifts.
How do you know that?
They must have been so heavy. What a riot.
How do you know that?
That's strange. Athena, could you please add that last statement to Bonnie's testimony?
All right. I'll update the mood matrix with the new info. Hey, Apollo. Now there's a new inconsistency in the testimony.
Yeah, she finally slipped up. So what do I need to do now?
Well, from this point onward, you just do what you do best. Find the contradiction in the testimony and present evidence to refute it.
Alright, I've got you now, Bonnie DeFam. Blah, 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 blah.
You know what? Serves her right.
Funicula.
Thanks to that, she ended up having to move the stage lifts. I'm sorry, how do you know that?
Why is it not showing me the emotions?
Because you're supposed to present evidence to contradict this information. What was it that Trucy said yesterday?
That's not where the lifts were supposed to be.
No, look at the, I think, didn't we take Trucy's statement down?
Oh, to cover
I
for
gotta
Bonnie's
go.
mistake.
She told no one about this. How does she know?
At buttons.
Hey, boy.
Here you go. Yeah, so how does she know?
Present slap to the face. Boot to the head. One for Jenny and the one. That?
doesn't make sense.
What? So you think I'm crazy now?
No, that's not the point I was trying to make.
But I don't hear you denying it.
When we know she's back to crazy.
Mr. Pham, allow me to repeat your statement. Thanks to that, she ended up having to move the stage lifts.
By the way, you're fine.
We're going a little bit later
Yeah,
because
we started really late.
and also my segment is next in Paper Mario. I'm willing to go a little longer if that's the case.
I didn't read that thing before it automatically skipped it.
That's fine.
That's right, and I still say that's just what she deserved.
But how did you know? How did you know Miss Wright moved the stage lifts?
Huh?
According to her own statement, she didn't tell anyone that she had done so.
What?
So how could you possibly have known that she had done what she had done unless you saw her? You saw Miss Wright moving the lifts in the understage passage, didn't you?
That's Ain't Jokers playing Fortnite. You did it, Apollo! Noise levels are at 0%! Well, Mr. Justice, wouldn't that mean...
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Pham herself was under the stage where the victim was killed. And I hardly need to tell the court what that means.
Eh,
You are one artful liar, Mr. Pham, and one spectacular suspect.
But now he's gonna bring up, but if that's where she was, then how was she on stage the whole time? Because she was still on the stage.
Magic.
Why, you shiny red lobster boy? You're saying I killed Mr. Ryus?
I'm saying that it's a possibility. What's more, I'd say you had a solid motive to frame my client for the murder as well.
Objection!
My apologies for raining on the defense's merry revelry. But you seem to have forgotten one very important point.
Oh, really?
The TV footage. As you can clearly see, Mr. Pham was on the stage the whole time. The entire audience can bear witness to that fact, including you.
Oh, yeah.
You have just taken a long and senseless journey, only to return to the starting line.
Not entirely. So, what we think she was constantly on the stage, what could have happened was when they were doing stuff that she wasn't involved in, she could have been disappeared and we wouldn't have noticed because basically a bigger form of sleight of hand.
There's also the fact that you mentioned this earlier.
What?
The potential answer it could be.
Another shadow.
Well, no, yes. There is that. You did bring that up too, but you mentioned this way before. Like, this has nothing to do with anything right now.
I'm just curious. So she's not on camera right now. And now she is.
The audience still would have noticed if she changed places.
That's true.
Because she's not exactly hiding from the audience. And that makes sense, though. You see the shadow. That was probably Mr. Hat going up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still this case?
Yes.
Yup.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said.
Keep going.
Hey.
Just keep going. I read this. The witness could not have been in the understage passage, which means the only one left who could have killed the victim is the accused.
Yeah.
Guess the party's over.
But Mr. Pham knew something she couldn't have known unless she was under the stage. How do you explain that, Prosecutor Satmati?
It's quite simple. The accused must have told Mr. Pham about it, but then forgot.
Ha! Open those useless eyes of yours and take a good look at the footage.
If Mr. Pham really was in the...
Oh, right.
understage
Yeah, no,
passage-
you're right. I did say so. The fact that there's probably a second one.
I mean, it fits the whole magic motif.
It
right?
does, yeah.
It would mean she was on stage and understage at the same time.
You mean she was in two places at once? That does seem to be the only explanation that makes any sense.
It may be an explanation, but I'm not so sure about the makes sense part.
Then we'll just have to make it make sense. Cram that triangle into the circle hole!
Oh, it actually fits.
Your Honor, the witness was both on stage and understage at the same time. That is the defense's assertion.
I've heard some illogical things come out of you before, but this is absurd.
Excuse me, sorry. I'm sure you'll change your tune once you hear my reasoning, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, am I boring you, Mr. Justice?
Yes, you old fuddy-duddy.
My gut tells me you're bluffing, but I'll bite.
Fine, you're not an old fuddy-duddy.
Very well, Mr. Justice. How do you explain how the witness was in two places at once?
There were two Bonnies. There were two Bonnies, Your Honor. If that were the case, it would all make sense, wouldn't it?
There were
I expected that to continue.
two of them? I suspected you had a few screws loose, but now I see some are missing altogether. Is there a toolkit in this courtroom, Your Honor? I suppose 2, no, 3 screws to the head should righten his putrid brain? Very well. Bailiff, could you?
Hold it! No way! Please listen to my argument!
Very well. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to at least give it a listen.
As was argued earlier, Mr. Pham is shown in the footage the whole time. But at the same time, she was also watching Miss Wright in the understage passage. The only possible explanation is that there are two of them.
That almost sounds like it makes sense. What do you think, Prosecutor Senmati? This humble servant of the Holy Mother is of the opinion that we should lose no time in replacing the defense's many lost screws. But Apollo, it goes against reality itself to say that one person is actually two.
But we don't have to be bound by reality. After all, we're talking about magic here. So if Bonnie de Femme is in the footage is the real Bonnie, then the Bonnie here on the witness stand, the one who must have been understage, this Bonnie de Femme, is our second Bonnie.
She is?
Say we call the one in front of us Bonnie too. I believe I have just the piece of evidence to prove that a Miss Bonnie 2 exists.
Oh? Then please submit your evidence, Mr. Justice. What proves the existence of Bonnie number 2?
That. Unknown.
Prints on the top of the panel. Unknown. There were prints for a third person.
Take that!
What's this?
During our investigation, we found a set of unknown prints on the coffin of the stage. These prints were most likely left during the course of the show. But they didn't match the prints of any of the people involved in this case.
An unknown third party's fingerprints? I was not told of this. Emma must have kept it from him.
So the question is, who could these prints possibly belong to? Mr. Pham, or should I say, Bonnie 2, these are your fingerprints, aren't they?
Enough of this foolishness. One person could not possibly be two.
Unless they were twins.
Those fingerprints could have been left, not only during the show, but at any time.
Objection!
It's not like you to lose your cool like that, Prosecutor Satmati. And I'm sure you know that. Exactly when the fingerprints were made is not the main issue.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Justice?
The issue is, who do these unknown prints belong to? They're certainly not Bonnie DeFam's. But what if they belong to the person standing right in front of us?
Oh, you mean Bonnie number 2 is the second Bonnie? Is that what you're implying? It's preposterous to suggest that those prints belong to the witness. I say they must belong to some other unknown individual.
Prosecutor Satmati, can you really look at her and still say that?
What are you looking at? Take a picture, it'll last longer.
How could this be?
If we check her prints, I'm sure they'll match the unknown set. Well, Bonnie, the prints that don't belong to the real you belong to you, don't they, Bonnie, too?
Witness, is what the defense has said true?
Fine, I admit it. The fingerprints are mine.
Then does that mean you aren't Bonnie DeFam?
What?
Ridiculous! Are there really 2 Bonnies?
Nope, there's only one Bonnie. That's because... I'm Betty! Betty DeFam!
What?
Ladies and gentlemen of the court, it's time for a wondrous magic show! Gasp in amazement as this Lego-morphing illusionist performs her teleportation magic. Watch closely, it's showtime!
Different parasol. So one's nice and one's evil. I can see the difference now. One of them has a bent ear, the other one has straight ears.
Yeah. Yep. What an amazing trick. The witness has suddenly split into 2 people.
It's not a trick, no gimmick to it either. We're simply twins.
What?
Twins?
So that's how the teleportation trick works.
Ever since our debut, I've had to hire pretend I'm Bonnie. All cute and sweet is good and goody-goody. I can't tell you how stressful it's been. But I don't have to hide anymore.
That's right. Our days of sneaking around are finally over.
Their cover is blown, but they actually seem pretty happy about it.
So which one of you is the nice Bonnie DeFam we met in the dressing room?
That would be me.
And the sharp-tongued Bonnie we saw in the ratings Raja under stage was...
Hey! Who you calling sharp-tongued?
It's all starting to make sense now.
They're twins.
Yup.
Little delayed there, buddy.
I'm watching stuff in the background.
So, Mr. Justice...
They're twins? You just see Josh's portrait just suddenly turns into a slowpoke.
You're actually... No, it's more like, what's her name from Steven Universe? The gem that they meet, Paraparacha or
Oh,
whatever
yeah,
her name
yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's the sapphire that predicts the future that happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Nah. So, Mr. Justice, this changes the facts of the case rather dramatically, doesn't it?
Certainly does. During the show, it was Bonnie who was on stage the whole time. So Bonnie couldn't have committed the crime.
So one's an actual happy-go-lucky bunny girl. The other one is a
A sadist. She's a sadist.
Yeah, psychotic bat.
Yup.
She's batshit crazy.
Yup.
Literally.
Yeah.
Hence
Whoa.
the names.
Yeah.
The names Bonnie, Bunny, and
Yeah.
Betty, Bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Betty, on the other hand, who was understaged, did have the opportunity.
I'm sorry, but I think you're misinterpreting. Betty can describe a lot of things.
No, yeah, I know.
No, yeah, Betty, Batty. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Black Betty, doo-doo-doo, Black Betty,
Yeah.
dang.
Also, it's been a while since we've had two people on the witness stand.
Who's the other one? Who was the
It
other
was when we were doing Le Miroir and Machi. In,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Hall of
yeah, yeah,
Justice.
yeah.
Whoa, so we now have two suspects.
Hold it! Just admit it there, lobster boy. I didn't do it.
That's right. Betty might be a foul mouth, but she'd never kill anybody.
Hey, who's got a foul mouth here?
Oh,
Well, speak up, huh?
Hold it!
Please save your sibling squabbling for later. Jeez.
There's always one. There's always one.
I love the little gestures. It's kind of awesome.
There's one in every family, sire, and they always manage to ruin special occasions.
Betty, you must have seen it been in the understage passage during the show. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known about the stage lifts being moved. So what exactly were you doing down there?
Fine, I'll testify. Anything to get you off my back.
Prosecutor Sadmati, Betty DeFam is ready to testify. What do you say? Betty, you lied to this humble servant of the Holy Mother.
Hey, what else could I do? I couldn't blow our cover and ruin our magic act. Besides, am I gonna go to your Twilight Hell or whatever for being a liar?
You will indeed. However, it won't be after your death. Rather, I shall give you a taste of your punishment on this mortal coil in interrogation hell. Now then, Betty DeFam, please explain to this court what exactly you were doing under the stage.
It's true. I had business in the understage passage because of the upcoming trick.
It was the fire trick, right? The one Mr. Rios was supposed to do?
That's right. It's a very dangerous trick, so I had to make sure we were prepared for it.
It was in the script, and I really wanted to see it, but I couldn't because of the accident.
Shut up! You're gonna give it away! Anyway, I was real busy.
Yeah, way too busy to have a chance to kill Mr. Rios.
Well, that was certainly different.
It's not much different from having Le Miroir and Machi on the stage at the same time.
Yeah, I just remember the way you were doing that.
How's that for a flawless testimony and alibi? Ta-da!
Yeah.
Unflattering.
Our magic is real. It's not a trick or a gimmick.
Oh my, she's floating.
Your Honor. You can see she's being held up from below.
You were supposed to pretend you didn't see that. It's a little something called etiquette.
What? I can't help it. Whenever I see contradiction or inconsistency, I just have to point it out.
Bruh. Now then, Mr. Justice, you must be really fun at parties.
I am the funnest, I'll have you know.
The defense may begin its cross-examination. Okay, so once again, there is one statement here that is sus. It's a fire trick, right? That's right. It's a very dangerous trick, so I had to make sure we were prepared for it.
The bucket was empty, though.
Well, it's not so much it was... It being empty is...
It wasn't prepared.
It wasn't... So it wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
And you were... No, sorry.
And you were taking every necessary precaution, is that right?
Of course, every precaution. After all, it's a very dangerous trick that uses real fire. I mean, we had to be ready in case the curtain caught fire or something, right?
By the time people realized it wasn't a part of the act, it might be too late, huh?
If by people you mean Athena sights, then yes.
Wow, a fire trick. That sounds really impressive.
Your beard would go up in smoke, old man. I think people mistake you for a cue ball or something without it.
Hey, I like that trainer class. You shut up.
Hey, I have a costume for that trainer class. Wait, I mean, what?
Yeah. Also, I'm sure the man playing the game right now would fit that trainer class.
I totally had the costume for it at one point. I still have the vest for it.
Yeah. A cue ball? Betty, don't be rude to the judge. Betty, you know that fire trick? So, you're correct. That is the statement. That is the statement we need to look at.
Present bucket.
Well, look at the bucket. There's one thing about the bucket that
Bucket we used in case of fire. Not only was it empty, but dust lines inside the.
So it's almost as if it wasn't touched at all.
Present.
Objection!
Silence. I got it right.
Yeah, when you hear the silence, you know you got it.
Yeah.
That's one of the in the newer games. That's the surefire tell that you got it
Yeah.
right.
I hate to break this to you, Betty, but there's a big flaw in your testimony. As big as the one in that floating trick you did earlier.
Oh, harsh words. Let me tell you something, forehead boy. No one has ever figured out how we do our teleportation trick.
No one except me, you mean?
Well, we have even better tricks up our sleeves.
Huh? We do?
I told you to keep it zipped.
Now, don't fight, you two. Mr. Justice, what's this about a flaw in the testimony?
The script has this to say about the fire trick. This will be dangerous. Make sure the fire bucket is ready. However, we found the fire bucket lying empty backstage except for a layer of dust.
Yeah,
Clonk.
ouch.
You didn't even attempt to get ready for the next trick, did you, Betty?
You got me.
That can't be good for those umbrellas. Seriously.
This isn't the first character that has an umbrella that did that when they get nervous.
No, Dahlia Hawthorne's umbrella never did that.
No?
Maybe in the show it did, in the anime it did,
I
but
didn't
not
see
in
the anime.
But not in the game itself.
Okay.
Bonnie DeFam, Betty DeFam. I'm mixing you two up. I'm sorry. I'm old.
You're twins!
Twins.
Twins!
It's like
Mold!
It's like his version of bald.
Yeah, bold!
Betty DeFam, you will explain yourself.
Yeah, there's nothing to explain.
Come on, Betty. We can't any longer. We might as well tell them.
Shut up! You can barely take care of yourself. Don't try to tell me what to do.
Well, if neither of you will explain, I guess I'll have to. The real reason Betty didn't prepare for the fire trick is because she
Is afraid of fire. Knew the show wouldn't go on. Was slacking off.
knew the show wouldn't go on.
Knew the show wouldn't go on. That
She witnessed the murder.
and also maybe she's intentionally sabotaged the show to make Trucy look bad.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I don't think Betty has it in her. She's rough, but I don't think she would have it in her to kill someone.
No, but she could have like seen it.
She could have attempted to sabotage the show without killing Mr. Reeves.
Yeah.
But his death was from something else.
She's not the killer.
No, she's clearly not the killer.
You didn't prepare for the fire trick because you knew it. You knew, didn't you? You knew that the body would be found and that the show would... I didn't press that. That the show would then be canceled.
I am all of a sudden reminded of Twin Grove with that shot. I mean, Betty basically does that.
Yeah, very much.
Bonnie, on the other end, is just so quiet. Like, I want to cry.
I don't want to be here no more. I can't do this shit no more.
Pretty much.
Don't be ridiculous, you insignificant speck of man! I'm gonna yank those lame bangs off yours off! Is that what you want? Huh?
You could try, they just grow right back immediately.
Whatever, they can grow back. Sharing the same brain cell as the character.
Yeah.
Now stop stalling and just tell us the truth already.
I can't reveal my secrets, I'm a magician!
Objection.
You have been chasing the shadow of an illusionary culprit defense. Illusory, sorry. And having chanced upon a convenient target, you have let yourself get carried away.
Hmm?
Exactly! Where's your proof, huh?
And yet, I can see that the witness's taste for false words has also been proven. I advise you to confine your deceitful trickery to your magic act, witness.
Deceitful trickery!
Objection!
As your court-appointed therapist, I'd like to add something here, Betty. You finally let yourself be who you really are. But if you continue to hide behind lies, you'll just be imprisoning your heart all over again.
But all these questions mean you're trying to put me in a prison for real! So I'll be behind bars either way!
Does that mean you're admitting your guilt?
Of course not! I can't believe you people! Every one of you thinks I did something I didn't do! You... Lobster Boy, Cue Ball Geezer, Headcase Brat, Cerberus Monk!
Cerberus? Oh, three-headed? Ooh, three-headed monk?
Ugh.
3 heads.
Forehead.
Cue Ball Geezer? Headcase Brat? Really? Hold it! Betty, calm down! Come on now, deep breaths, deep breaths. Your blood pressure.
Look, I'm the murderer, I tell you!
Then how did you know the show would be called off before the fire trick?
I told you, we can't reveal our secrets. We're under contract.
Oh. Okay. Contract? What is she talking about? Be that as it may, you're obviously a suspect in this case.
Objection.
I'm beginning to see the karmic threads that make up the intricate tapestry, and that is this case.
Huh?
Allow me to surmise your assertions, defense. First, that the victim was killed in the understage passage. And second, that the witness and the accused are the only two who could have done it.
Exactly. What's more, Betty knew that the body would be found, and that the magic show would then be called off. Therefore, it's reasonable to conclude that Betty killed the victim on her stage.
But what if Betty knew that the show would be called off for some other reason?
Like what?
In the course of my investigation, I found it strange that the dragon set piece fell when it did. That, in conjunction with the body tumbling from the coffin in such a dramatic fashion, all seemed too perfect for mere happenstance. It was as though the entire chain of events had been planned out in advance.
Clonk.
Ouch!
Planned out.
After deciding to take this case, I scrupulously
Yep.
studied everything I could about the mass media in this country.
It basically means to, like, with great effort, comb every single
Yeah.
detail.
Great detail.
Yeah.
I read the newspaper, old news reports, I even browsed tabloid magazines. How very industrious of you. I'm impressed. During this process, I learned about a strange practice favored by the TV world. Let me guess, like prank shows and shit? Yeah, a practice called the hidden camera prank. Betty and Bonnie, you knew about this, did you not? About the dead body appearing, the set piece falling, the show being suspended? You two were informed of this plan. By Take-Two TV in advance, correct?
Is that true?
Betty, please, let's tell them now. I can't hold it in anymore.
Fine, you got us! Everything the prosecutor said is true. The TV station paid us to cooperate with them on this plan. It was all a prank. It's a prank, bro. A big setup planned out in advance. Mr. Rios showing up dead in the coffin. The set piece falling down. It was all completely scripted.
So wait,
Wait.
when he was lying on the ground, he was pretending? So then how did he end up dead? Afterwards.
Yeah.
He was killed after that.
I guess, yeah. It was all...
A prank? Yeah, the big twist was it was a prank, bro.
Yeah.
To be fair, this is the first time something like this has happened. Bonnie, is this really true? Yes, Mr. Rios was supposed to pretend to be dead. That's how it was supposed to go.
So he was in on it too?
That's right. He was supposed to show up dead in the coffin. And then the set piece would fall down. Chusi would be shocked and start to panic.
That's how the prank script went.
What?
What the heck kind of prank is that? But we never thought he'd actually wind up dead.
Yeah, that was the only thing that was different from the script. Poor Mr. Rios.
I'm so completely lost right now.
Well, Betty and Bonnie, it certainly sounds like you have some explaining to do.
You got some splaining to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. Just this once, we'll share how it was done with you. So listen carefully. You'll never hear this kind of thing anywhere else.
A bat. A bat bunny.
Bat and a bunny, yep.
After a teleportation trip, I went down under stage. When Mr.
Not you.
When Mr. Rios' body appeared from the coffin on stage, it was time for Betty to do her job in the understage passage.
That's right, I used the remote control for the winch connected to the dragon set piece. I made it fall down.
And just before the dragon fell, I called Trucy to the backstage so she wouldn't get hurt.
The plan was for Mr. Rios to come back to life in front of the panicked Juicy. He was supposed to laugh and fly up and away. That was how it was scripted anyway.
My job is done. Why?
I must go. My planet needs me.
Just like with that heroic fanfare as he's flying away too.
But for some reason, he really did turn up dead. So he kind of just stayed on the ground.
What kind of sick joke is that?
sounds like a terribly mean-spirited prank to me. The poor defendant is trying to do her magic show.
I guess so. I'm sorry, Trucy.
Whatever. It was all the ratings Raja's idea anyway.
Yeah, it sounds like just the kind of thing a guy like him would come up with.
This is the prank plan script we got from the ratings Raja.
This is a prank, bro.
The corpse appearing and the set piece falling were staged by Roger Rettins. We might want to take a look at that.
Dang it, you made us break our contract. Now we won't get paid.
Yeah, we might want to look at that.
Read.
Yeah.
Mr. Rios' body will appear in a supposedly empty coffin, which should cause a big ruckus. After capturing a bit of Trucy's reaction on film, Mr. Rios will come back to life, laughing and flying up into the air, causing another round of surprise. That would explain the winch on the back of his outfit.
Yeah. But something else flew up instead.
Unless that was him in the scuffle, or something being raised up that caused him to fly up.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't hear he slap.
Oh!
Yeah.
But where does this all leave us? Who killed the victim? And when?
Yes, exactly. Those are the key questions. If Mr. Rios was only pretending to be dead in the coffin as a part of the prank, then when he was understage, there would still be life within him. And if that is the case, then Betty, who was also understage, may be excluded from our list of suspects.
Black Betty, Marmalade.
True. I never once really thought that she was the killer.
Yeah. Ah!
Witness, was the victim alive up until he entered the coffin?
Oh, well, now that we spilled the beans, we might as well show you this video.
Greetings, viewers! It is I, the great Mr. Rios. We are currently in the middle of Trucy's escape trick. Having snuck into the understage passage undetected, I am now hiding backstage, preparing to play a little prank on Trucy. I'm about to hide in the coffin, which Trucy will stab with her rubber sword. And when the coffin opens, ho ho, I will be in it, acting as though I met my maker. Can you imagine the look on Trucy's face then? Ho ho, I can hardly wait.
He's about to hide in the coffin?
It would seem the threads of karmic destiny have led us to the truth. Josh, since you're here, would you like to be a voice? You can be the judge if you want.
I'm good.
You're good? You sure?
Yeah. Yes, I am exceptionally quiet, folks. I'm tired.
You're fine.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to see if you wanted to participate. We can let you if you want.
No, I'm good. It's already 8 o'clock. Holy
Almost.
shit.
Quarter two. The victim passed through the understage, where Betty DeFam was, and came up into the backstage area. We know this because Mr. Rios appeared to be backstage when he shot the video we saw.
It appears that way, yes.
And defense, you proposed the following, did you not? What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? But then, what about this video? This footage was taken just before Mr. Rios entered the coffin.
Oh, so does that mean...
Yes, it is horrible but true. The tragedy did indeed play out right there on the stage.
That face.
Yeah, just like you see the face now, right?
It's that face that someone does with like went into the coffin where Mr. Rios was hiding. Trusty Wright thrust her blade.
Not like that. Get your head out of the gutter.
Ho ha ha! Guard, turn, parry, dodge, spin, ha!
Ah!
See? I told you so.
So are you saying the incident was a tragic accident that happened during a prank?
It's just a prank, bro.
It would be an accident if the accused had no knowledge of the prank beforehand. So let us ask the accused herself. Miss Wright, did you have prior knowledge of the prank? What? I...
Tell him, Trucy. You didn't know anything about it, right?
Of course I didn't. I didn't know a single thing about it.
Oh, I'm calling it now. When I press the A button, I'm going to detect her telling a fib.
Either that, or maybe that has to do with something involving the signature forging.
Oh.
Maybe that one thing that she has her signature on was about the prank.
Yeah, her consent. It was a consent form.
Still think you can play innocent, do you? In that case, you leave me little choice but to present this piece of evidence. It looks like some sort of note.
That's...
I found this note in the dressing room after the incident. At the time, I did not understand what it meant, but all is clear to me. Bonnie, get the video camera after Mr. Rios comes tumbling out.
What's this?
Let's see, it says, get the video camera after Mr. Rios comes tumbling out. It is a note signed by the accused, instructing Bonnie to collect Mr. Rios' video camera from him, it seems. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
I found it in the dressing room right before the show. When I saw it, I realized that Trissy knew about the prank.
It does bear her signature, I'll give you that much.
So the defendant had prior knowledge of the prank?
Nope.
It would appear so, yes. When she learned about the plan to trick her, she decided to use it to her own advantage. So she thrust the steel sword into the coffin where the victim stood chuckling to himself. Is that not what happened, Miss Wright?
It's not how she rolls.
Of course not! And I didn't write or sign that note! Ah, but the handwriting matches yours. All of the evidence and testimony points to you being the culprit. But I didn't do it! It wasn't me! Then explain the existence of this note. You can do that.
I'm half expecting one of these times he slams his fist so freaking hard that beads just explode in a shower of...
Ow! Damn! Ow. I didn't explain it. I didn't write it, so I don't understand it. I didn't kill Mr. Rios. You have to believe me.
The silence is deafening.
Continue struggling against the threads of your own karma if you wish, accused. Even as you are inescapably caught in the web of fate you've spun for yourself. Miss Wright, it is time to resign yourself to your fate. No, I didn't do it!
Sorry.
I knew it!
That sweet-looking girl, a murderer!
She took all of us with that act of hers.
I told you, I knew she was a smart.
Homicidal little witch from the start.
But I didn't do it.
Me.
Shut up, you killer!
You won't come
We won't fall for that anymore.
anymore.
This is bad.
Your Honor, I suggest we put an end to this tragedy now. Give your official ruling and let us offer the victim's soul the last rites it deserves. Very well. I suppose I have no other choice.
Except for the fact that I actually have proof that that isn't something she willingly signed.
This court hereby finds the defendant Trucy Wright.
Objection!
Mr. Justice, you know well not to interrupt me when I'm about to use the hammer of justice.
Shut the frick up!
Shut the fuck up, Batman.
The defense has an objection.
Apollo.
She's
You.
not a kid anymore.
Even now, you would. Oh, Apollo, you do realize the hammer of justice is unisex, right?
Yup. So are the hammers of my fists.
Yep.
I won't give up, and I refuse to let either of them down.
Red Claw? A woman? You surprised? No, hardly. I'm an equal opportunity crime fighter.
Mr. Wright, who's counting on me, and Trucy, who's put all her faith in me.
Again, she's in the next case.
Excuse me.
Mr. Justice, the fact that you have raised an objection means that you have evidence with which to refute the prosecution's claims, correct?
Yes, of course, Your Honor.
Do we really have anything, Apollo?
Yes, if you're anything worth your salt, yes. Actually, we do. There's one piece of evidence that we can present here.
Very well, Mr. Justice, you may proceed.
As we saw in the show footage, there's no question that the defendant thrust a sword into the coffin. The defense doesn't dispute this point. But let us not forget that this was a magic show filled with tricks and illusions. We can't take everything we see at face value.
So you're saying some sleight of hand was somehow involved?
Yes. The defense contends that the sword the defendant used was not the cause of death. Now what was it Trucy told me she did just before she thrust the sword into the coffin?
Very well. Let us see your evidence then, Mr. Justice. But remember, you interrupted my verdict to make this claim. You will be severely penalized if I find you are bluffing. So this one's gonna cost 3 points.
See that. That's fine, Your Honor. This shows that it's possible that the sword Miss Wright used was not the cause of death.
So look through everything carefully.
Taint's rubber sword. Trucy says she swapped it for the trick. Yeah.
Very good. What's this? A sword from the show?
That's right, Your Honor. This rubber sword was the sword stand. It was in the sword stand under stage. During the trick, Miss Wright was supposed to swap the real sword for a rubber sword. And she told us on record that she remembers very clearly that she did.
I see. So the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin was a rubber sword, was it? But then why was this a steel sword found lying on the stage?
Somebody must have put the steel sword there by swapping it with the rubber one. Just after the incident occurred, the dragon set piece fell and the theater was evacuated. The real culprit must have used the resulting chaos to swap the rubber sword for the steel one.
Objection!
Do you not know when to give up, stink bug? That is not possible. I've been demoted! Again! Blood was found in the coffin hole that the sword was thrust into. It must have been left there when the accused withdrew the sword. This is incontrovertible proof that the sword she used was the steel one.
Objection!
But that blood could be the result of someone tampering with the crime scene after the fact. After the set piece fell and the audience was cleared out of the theater. There was plenty of time for somebody to plant that blood there.
Objection!
If the sword the accused used was a rubber, then when exactly do you propose the victim was killed? Given that Mr. Rios was alive when he entered that coffin.
Objection!
Finding the answer to that question is precisely why we need to continue this trial.
Let me express my opinion. By all accounts, it is certainly reasonable to suspect the defendant based on the evidence. But as to the question of whether the sword the defendant used was rubber or steel, I believe further discussion is warranted. I suggest we hear from the defendant herself on this issue. Very well, Your Honor.
Yes, I saved it somehow. Too close for comfort, but still.
Let's adjourn for a brief 15-minute recess. I advise the prosecution and the defense to use this time to prepare.
I know you only got an hour, but can we swap to the other game, please?
Yeah, sure. Okay. This would be a good, like, I'm surprised that there wasn't a to be continued at this part.
Yeah.
Even in the original game, there wasn't. It's just, I'm surprised. Alrighty, my friends, we're gonna take a 15-minute break or so. A quick break, not that long. And we'll be back with Paper Mario 1000 Year Door.